You're on the Philly D Thumbo again because of my mention of Bill Maher. Oh, we're going to do that
and
in a
that's because
second.
Bill devoted a nearly 9-minute segment of his show to calling out Chapel Roan for her support of Palestine. And he starts off by explaining who she is to his viewers who might be unfamiliar by saying she's actually a great recording artist who, like a Hezbollah pager, is really blowing up. With him then applauding Chapel for her previous statements on politics where she said she would question both sides and always use critical thinking. But you then had Bill saying that she isn't actually using critical thinking when it comes to Israel and Palestine, accusing her and her generation of getting all their news from TikTok. With him then spending a big chunk of that segment bringing up that Chapel is an out queer woman whose sexuality is a major part of her art and stage presence, and trying to use that to further his arguments.
Okay, this is spoiling the video that I was going to inevitably watch. I didn't realize he did the... That's why so many people are doing the fucking gender apartheid or LGBT apartheid shit.
Chapel, if you think it was repressive growing up queer in the Midwest, try the Mideast. You're a female drag queen and you sing "I fucked you in the bathroom when we went to dinner, your parents at the table." That wouldn't fly in Gaza, although you would straight off a roof. And going on to say, you know when you sing that LA is where boys and girls can all be queens every single day? You're welcome. But offer not good in the West Bank. Chapel, you're not wrong that oppression is bad or that Palestinian and many other Muslim populations are oppressed and deserve to be freed. You just have it completely.
I love that every counter argument is like, whenever someone who is queer will be like, hey, I think genocide is really fucked up. The immediate reaction from Zionists is like, I'm now fantasizing about you being violently raped and murdered. Like, how is that? How are you a normal person, dude? Like, how? What are you saying? How is this a normal reaction? Someone goes, oh, genocide is really not for me. It's not it, girl. And the first retaliation is like, you know what? You'd be fucking, you'd be burned off of a rooftop. They would kick you off a rooftop. They'd kill you. Oh my God, they would violently murder you. I'm imagining a world where you're being violently murdered. I'm normal. I'm a normal guy. There's a normal guy who's defending genocide. Ah! What are you saying?
Completely ass backwards as to who is doing the oppressing, with Bill then accusing her of being pro-Hamas and therefore pro-other forms of terrorism. And the fallout that we've seen from this have varied wildly depending on where you're looking. Right in the comments section of the YouTube video, people think that it was a mic drop moment from Bill, that he nailed it. But then, over on Twitter, you had people slamming him both for his rhetoric around Israel and Palestine, as well as his choice to go all in on Chapel Roan. With folks saying things like, who the fuck thinks it's okay for this old-ass corrupt evil dipshit to talk about throwing a 26-year-old Chapel Roan off of a roof for being anti-genocide? And others saying this was 9 minutes of misogynistic, lesbophobic drivel because Chapel Roan said we should stop giving Israel money to slaughter Palestinians. As well as the likes of Hasan Piker saying that one day Bill Maher will die alone and sad and not a single person will mourn for him because the remainder of his smug boomer fan base will have also died. And this is, you also had outlets like...
Okay, I found that my input was irrelevant in this subject matter because, one, I'm the #1 hater of Bill Maher. If Bill Maher has no haters, that means I am dead. And two, because a lot of other Twitter accounts had already gotten to the issue and had done a pretty good job of dealing with the context. So I thought, well, how can I improve this situation? How can I bring up something that is new, unique, and different? And I thought, let's just fucking blast it, you know? I didn't think it was... Anyway, it was just a moment that, like, I had to you know, address as well. What is this? Here's a, oh, this is the one. Game Wardens, Kingdom of Heaven. This is the one. This is the one I was looking for. Here.
I'm not a citizen of the United States.
Were you a citizen of
Heaven?
Of heaven?
Yeah. I need to see some kind of ID.
That's my ID.
How about the registration for the car?
I don't register my car with any secular authority.
Is this your spouse or friend or?
I don't register my car with any secular authority.
My friend.
Your friend, okay. What's your name on here? Trent?
Minister Trent Goodbody.
Okay. Do you have a middle?
That's Minister Trent Goodbody.
Minister Trent Goodbody, sir.
I don't see a date of birth on here. Is there a date of birth?
No, the date that would matter would be my date of baptism.
You reside at Kingdom of Heaven? Is that right?
Yeah. That's the jurisdiction I reside in. And that's where I claim my citizenship as well.
So if I was to issue you a ticket for parking here illegally, where would I be sending that to?
The Kingdom of Heaven.
I need to have your date of birth. You are in violation. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back with you, okay?
All right.
You're not free to leave, though. Okay?
I'll stay here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to call some people. Hey, Nancy, it's my life.
Sovereign citizen mindset is exactly what took place when they tried to have Mike Pence stop the certification on January 6th. Exactly. They are the most annoying, like, rule-abiding rule breakers of all time that think in their minds that if they say, like, a secret code word to a cop, that they will automatically be let go. Where they think like, oh, excuse me, sir, I was simply traveling and not driving. I do not need a secular authority address driver's license, nor do I need a license plate for my vehicular in motion of travel. It's like, that's not how this works, man. Like, you can't just magically say this isn't maritime admiralty court and therefore you can do whatever the fuck you want.
182. Can you run a name? Yeah, I have a possible.
Yeah, it's no different than carrying around a reverse Uno card and being like, excuse me, you have no authority to arrest me, sir, because this is a reverse Uno card. And then the cop arrests himself. He's like, no! I am destroyed. No, I have to arrest myself now.
Full alias of Trent Goodbody. Address is Kingdom of Heaven. Asked for his date of birth, and he just wants to give me his baptism date. He doesn't have any plates. Okay, if you find anything, if you'll let me know. All right, thanks. Bye. She can't find anything on him. Let me tell you right now, what's going to happen is if you fail to identify yourself, you will be going to jail.
I've given you my identification.
You don't have any date of birth on here? You won't tell me your middle name? You're not under arrest at this time. If you continue to not give me your name and your date of birth, then you will be under arrest. Okay?
Where does it say I have to identify myself?
In the state law.
I don't follow state law. This is my authority right here.
Okay.
Hey, he says source the Bible. Excuse me, my favorite liberal commentator also sourced the Bible when talking about why Israel has to exist, has a right to defend itself. So this is no different, you know? Source the Bible.
My sergeant's going to come here. You can talk to him at that
I'd love
point.
to talk to a supervisor.
I don't want to have to take this guy in. He just tells me his name, date of birth. Be on my way. In most circumstances like this, I just turn around, give him a warning, say, hey, you just can't park right here.
I'm Sergeant Fulton, so what's going on today?
Well,
Wait, fuck, I want to see the second version. Hold on.
You guys have your
part two? I got to see part two. What happens to this guy? Does anyone have part two for this? Sovereign citizen final boss. Someone said this Amazon delivered to the kingdom of heaven. Anyway, once you recognize what sovereign citizens are, you develop a better understanding of what this guy was about.
I pull up to the sheriff. I say, you know, well, I should take that back. I'm not 100% sure he was a sheriff. He was wearing a sheriff vest, but a lot of those individuals were. And my assumption is that not everybody there was a sheriff. They were just trying to indicate that they worked with the sheriff's department. And so I drive up to this sheriff and I tell him that, you know, in full transparency, I just want to let you know in the back of my truck, I got, you know, 2 lawful firearms.
Oh, wait, hold on.
this earth, and he didn't make any no parking signs. Everything I do for God.
True, King.
So I will go with you wherever you want to take me, but you know, it would be a real damage to these dogs. I've had them for 10 years, and They can't live without me.
All we're asking at this point, and all he's been asking, is to identify yourself.
I can't give you a state identification because my authority is God, not the state.
So you,
Dude, he looks so scary. He looks so fucking scary, dude.
you're still refusing to
He
identify
looks like a Resident Evil 7 villain.
yourself.
No, I'm not refusing. I have identified myself. I gave him my ID.
So we need a name and date of birth for
I
you.
don't have that.
Okay. You leave
am
us.
not refusing.
You leave us with no choice.
I have not caused any harm to anyone or done any property damage. What have I done wrong? You guys are a corporation. You're trying to make money off of me.
Actually,
not
no.
What would God do? You know, I forgive you guys for anything you're about to do. I live for the Lord.
All right.
And
That's good. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Go ahead and step on out of the car. Face the vehicle.
Holy
Hands behind your back.
moly!
So you're under arrest at this time, okay, Trent?
He's
They're
actually
arresting me.
significantly gentler than I thought he was going to be, by the way. Usually these sovereign citizen types are insanely annoying. Like he doesn't even suit the bill really of a sovereign citizen that much.
All right, come back here to
This
the car.
car
for me.
this is private property.
Okay. Come back here to this car.
You good?
Yeah. Turn around. Face my tailgate.
Why are you guys doing this to me? I don't know what you expect me to provide. There's no law saying I have to get state ID. Is there? If I gave you a birth date under duress, would you let me be on my way?
A little bit too late for that.
Of course. I would never do this to you.
Yeah, they had to hit him with a double cuff.
Man to
That's
man,
a
I would
big
never
boy.
do this to you. Can you tell me what might happen to my dogs?
Your dogs are probably going to stay with the female.
You know when I might be able to get released?
That's up to the judge. I gave you several chances to tell me
I
your date of
cannot
birth.
identify myself to an authority other than God. Parked in God's parking spot. You guys came along and thought it was yours, but well, you know what? There was another jurisdiction here before you guys came along. God made this planet. How do you think you own this place? How could you persecute me like this? Who are the ones that crucified Christ? Those were the government. You're the one that's going to be held liable and accountable.
Okay.
And not just by a court, because God does not operate in court.
I'm not going to sit here and argue with you.
Okay, well that's
okay?
fine. I am
You
just doing my due diligence to warn you and
You
know
can explain
you.
it to the judge.
For the record, if he was black, they would have shot him. So, you know,